Previously on the Soul Cycle.
I walk through an arch when all of a sudden a health bar shows up. He's coming straight at me! The motherfucker clips me and I'm left flatter than a pancake. Alright, that last time was just a fluke. I can almost see the beast tremble in fear before my mighty blade. Huh. Guess you can't dodge under that one. Please, may this death be my last. I press my advantage as new steps mingle with the old. It is over. Well, anyway, wasn't there some ring I was looking for? Bet I can buy some really cool stuff with all these runes. That was all this was supposed to be. Quick little video, have some fun in the edit, get it out in time to capitalize on the new game. I felt so secure when I wrote it. The Soul Cycle felt like a law of nature. I knew that Elden Ring was going to be open world and that would shake up the formula a bit, but I thought, surely this will still be the flow of the game. Bosses will still stomp you into the dirt, you'll still have to learn patterns, there will still be long walks to get back to their arena, I will still go through all 5 stages of grief at least a few times throughout the game. This has been true with every Fromsoft game I've ever played, and it'll definitely be true again. And then the game came out, and it turns out like 2/3 of the damn thing don't even apply. So here we go, time to make a big fucking Elden Souls Twice Born examination. You proud of yourself, Miyazaki? Look what you made me do. Alright, let's start with my history with Fromsoft. My first introduction to their work was actually through Yahtzee's review of Demon Souls way back in 2009. If you haven't seen it, he mercilessly pans it for being too hard and unfair. I walk away thinking, that game sounds dumb as hell, I'll never play it for as long as I live. Then I hear that it won GameSpot's Game of the Year. And instead of challenging my assumptions, I double down on my knee-jerk response and decide that GameSpot are a bunch of hacks and to never respect them again. Dark Souls comes out in 2011, and while I hear rumblings that it's some people's favorite game of all time, nobody that I really follow talks about it, and it passes me by. Then, Dark Souls 2 comes out in 2014, and in that time, everyone and their grandmothers have realized that Dark Souls whips ass. And I still haven't played it. Or really seen any of it past the gargoyles. I remember hearing that people were really excited for Dark Souls 2, that the trailers were cool, the tunnels were dark, and the torches were gonna be revolutionary. And then the game came out, and everybody was pissed about it. Months pass, and eventually the curiosity gets to me. I begin where I'm sure most of us did, with VaatiVidya. I binged through all of Prepare to Cry, and I am hooked. I think I have got to play these goddamn games! I buy Dark Souls for PS3, and I completely fucking play myself. I fall for the trap that is sword and board and spend my entire time with the game hiding behind a shield, hitting dudes with the starting sword. Between semesters at college, I hammer away at it, and after 2 years, I beat Ornstein and Smo, acquire the Lord Vessel, see just how much more of the game there is left, and immediately drop it. 4 years pass. In that time, Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 come out, and I watch tons of vids about them. At this point, I self-identify as a Souls fan, despite the fact that I've only played one and never beat it. I got my PS4 in 2016, but like a fool I never get either game, probably because I was broke, busy, and spending all of my money trying to get laid at bars. But in 2018, I finally get Bloodborne, and would you look at that? I play myself again! I come in thinking, I want to be a nimble gentleman assassin. So I start with a threaded cane, an absolutely terrible weapon. I'm sure it has its defenders, but in my opinion, its attacks are way too slow to be doing chip damage. I muddle my way through. Eventually, I fall head over heels for the Kirkhammer, beat Rom, die like 20 times in Yahar'gul, feel bad, and drop it. And then, Sekiro comes out. This game's a fucking killer game, man. This game's so fucking good. I have ting ting this game. And then there's the guy that goes ting 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 ting. A ting 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 ting. We got Samurai. Fireball. I fucking love this game, you know? I swear to God, I have half this game. It just lives inside the back of my mind. I can't stop thinking about it. I won't stop thinking about it. I've thought about it every day of my life. I'll think about it every day from here on out. Wham! Now let me qualify that for a second. Sekiro is one of my favorite games of all time, but I actually didn't finish it the first time I played it. I was trying to have a spoiler-free blind playthrough. I watched a couple primer vids, but for the most part, it was just me and the game. And while the boss fights were, and still are, some of the best I've ever played, some of the levels could get a bit sloggy. My ultimate shame is that I got right up to the end, fought Ishin like 3 times, then got distracted and it drifted into the background. If anyone asked, I'd say, yeah, I beat Sekiro, but in my heart, I knew I was lying. Then, a while later, I decided to replay Bloodborne in January of 2020. This time, I went full strength, bringing my trusty axe from beginning to end. Then, what with all the free time we had, I did another run through Sekiro, found every secret, fought every boss, and stuck my nose into every corner. And then I played Dark Souls 3 with a greatsword build. Playing those 3 back to back to back, that was when everything really clicked into place. And I realized not only that I love to play these games, but why I love playing them. As it turns out, even though it's what got me into the franchise, I could give a fuck about the story. I come to Fromsoft for 2 things: levels and fights. Fromsoft's levels are dense, like uber duper dense, like fucking look at this shit here. Somebody had to place all of that, and the thing that sets them apart from everyone else is that each placement feels purposeful. Nothing is accidental in a From game. And when you couple that level of detail with the intensity of the combat interactions, it creates this hyper-vigilant flow in the player. You inch through these levels, peeking around every corner, trying to avoid ambushes and traps, stumbling on mobs, throwing yourself against them over and over until you solve them. Then, once an area is clear, you spend the next 5 minutes combing through every inch of a level, looking for secret tunnels and new items, and then you keep on trucking and do it all again. That loop keeps you perfectly balanced on the knife's edge, ratcheting up the tension when you enter a new location, but releasing it once you've had enough. And then you get to fight the big baddies. That's where the joy of the soul cycle comes in. You walk in, panic, run around, play more carefully than you ever have or ever will again, misjudge, and get pancaked. Then you try again, make bad assumptions, pay the price, throw yourself back in again and again until the fight starts getting into your body, and you feel like you know this boss inside and out. When the invisible switch flips between stage 2 and stage 3, that's what I play these games for. For when you stop guessing and just sort of know. That feeling of completely reading a boss is like nothing else. That's the dragon I'm chasing, and that's why Sekiro is my favorite. Because in order to parry each of a boss's moves, you need to know them on a molecular level. And that's why I was pretty disappointed in Elden Ring at the start. Because I've played for 25 hours at time of writing, and I haven't felt the cycle once. Also, before I start talking trash, be prepared for a very large butt incoming, and I ain't talking about the tree avatar. Alright, let's start with this tidbit. I haven't had to fight any of the bosses so far more than 10 times, which might not sound like I'm saying much, but let me give you some context. Gaping Dragon, Havel, and the Bell Gargoyles in Dark Souls 1, Champion Gundyr and Sullivan from Dark Souls 3, the Cainhurst Knight, Ebritas, and of course the fucking Watchdog in Bloodborne, and in Sekiro, Christ, where to start? Genichiro, Lady Butterfly, Shirafuji, Guardian Ape, Owl, Demon of Hatred. All these bosses killed me at least 10 times, if not double or even triple in places. Yes, there are hard fights in Elden Ring, but if death count was the only measure of difficulty, then ER is by far the easiest. There are just so many release valves you can use to get through a tough fight. Now, to start, I should issue a mea culpa. I have been playing a magic build. Hey, I know, alright? I get it. Here I am, playing myself for a 3rd time. I'd never played a caster before. All of the pre-release footage made the magic look so cool and powerful. I just wanted to try it out, okay? And yeah, it has made things much easier, and pulled me away from the things I really loved about From bosses. Now, instead of getting up in a boss's face and learning how to dodge through their attacks, I'm backpedaling and creating distance. It's become more about spacing than pattern recognition. Plus, I was right, magic is really strong. Another thing I never really used before was summoning. I don't really enjoy multiplayer, and I almost always play From games in offline mode. So instead of reading notes and summoning jolly cooperation, I just cast Google and summon my buddy Fextralife. And before you start, just shut up and let me play how I want, okay? And while that's all still true in Elden Ring, you gotta love an interactive map. Summoning is more emphasized than ever before. At every hard boss, there's at least one NPC summon sign, but more than that, with spirit summons, when I fight a boss, I usually rock up with a full posse of minions, and as long as I play smart, I can usually handle things in 1 or 2 tries. But the real difference comes when I can't. Now, instead of bashing my head against the brick wall, I just turn around and do something else. Fromsoft games have always had skill gates. Gascoigne is a pretty good one. Genichiro is probably the best example of a skill gate of all time, but their function in those games is completely different than in Elden Ring. In Sekiro, Genichiro is the developer's way of slapping you in the face and saying, I swear to God, if you don't learn how to fucking parry, then I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. But in Elden Ring, well, let's look at Margit. Margit is the first real skill gate of the game, but he's not there to teach you which playstyle the game wants from you, because there isn't one playstyle that solves him. Oh, you like hiding behind a shield? Hope you've got a million poise, cause I love breaking that stamina, baby. Oh, you like dodging through attacks? Well, good luck, cause I can hold my cudgel up here all day until you stand still. Then bop, gotcha, fucker. Oh, you like shooting spells? Well, I've got a couple of my own, and if they don't work, then I'm gonna pull out this massive hammer and jump on you. I don't care how far you go, you can't run from me, bitch! Margit doesn't exist to teach you a skill. He exists to grab you by the collar, rough you up a bit, and say, my daddy built an entire world for you, and you are gonna explore it whether you like it or not. And here comes that big old butt I mentioned. I fucking love this choice. I've seen things in the lands between that you would not believe. My face has been like this and like this for hours on end. There are places in this game that are gorgeous and disgusting and breathtaking, and I'm not going to show you a single goddamn one. Margit and I are playing for the same team now. If you don't get out there and see what this game has to offer yourself, then I'm gonna come over to your house and I'm gonna Clockwork Orange your ass. We do not make idle threats on this channel. What are you still doing watching this video? I mean now, Tarnished. Thanks for watching. Also, P.S. Marika killed the Soulsborne boss run. What the hell?